Hey everyone, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to grow your dispensary's revenue using local search engine optimization or SEO. Over the past 12 months, my agency has generated over 7 figures in revenue for our cannabis and hemp clients, and SEO has been the prime mover behind that success. Today, I'm delivering a complete walkthrough of our SEO playbook, including examples from dispensaries across the nation that are crushing it, so you know exactly what success looks like. So if you're ready to stop being invisible and start driving more foot traffic and revenue for your stores, keep on watching. Now, here's the thing, okay? This document is based on our actual local SEO playbook. I wanted to include as much as possible here because I want to give you guys the full playbook to follow to get more visibility, not just gloss over everything. But also, if I were to, explain this entire thing point by point, I'd be here for an hour, okay? So what we're going to do instead is I'll briefly explain each area, and then we'll look at an example of a dispensary that's doing really good at that area. And that way you can see what SEO excellence looks like in practice and kind of what to model. And then I'll also include this document down below in the description. And that way you can follow along and see, okay, here's this example, and here are the different points of SEO that we need to cover. And so then you can ensure you do everything, but I'm not going to explain every little thing in depth. I just don't have time. Okay, so the first thing is optimizing your Google business profile. And this is very important because if you look up any dispensary near me type of keyword, the first thing you see is this Google local pack feature. And so I'll just do it. I'll try dispensary New York City. So as you can see here, right, first thing we see is this places module. And inside this module, we see these profiles. I call them, the acronym for them is GBPs. It's easier to say than Google Business Profiles, right? And so this is really the best real estate you can actually achieve in SEO because it's the first thing people see. And most of the clicks and most of the activity on these dispensary near me or dispensary city type keywords goes to this feature right here. And so the first thing you want to do is actually optimize the profile itself before you do everything else with your website and offsite to improve your ranking there too. Point is though, everything in local SEO is about how can we rank better in this right here. If we can rank better right here, we'll get more foot traffic. More people will be visiting us. So here's an example of a dispensary that's doing really, really well is the Flowery. So they're actually number 5 for this main keyword, but for their actual place, they're doing better. And so I have everything listed here you want to do, but I want to highlight a couple of things that the Flowery does really, really well. The first thing they do is they're adding new images constantly. So they actually have an image right here added just 2 hours ago. And we also see a lot of customers have been adding images, and they have some that they've added like 6 months ago, but still, right? 2 hours ago, right here, right? And so this is important because businesses that update their profile a lot, that are adding images a lot, that are responding to reviews, they're showing Google that they are currently active and serving customers in their area. And Google always wants to recommend the business that's currently the best, not just that was the best in the past, but maybe they've gone dormant or are less active now. And so you want to do things to your profile to show Google that you are currently actively serving customers in your area and adding new photos constantly. Like I would say 5 to 10 per month, and also add like 30 to 40 in the beginning of your SEO campaign. Doing this is a powerful signal that you are still relevant in your area. Okay, other thing they do really well is they respond to their reviews. So if we see here, right, the reviews that are shown as most relevant to us, right? Every review, at least the ones we can see first, they all have responses. And this is important for 2 reasons. The first reason is that, again, you're showing Google that we're currently active, we're currently serving customers in the area, that we care about our customers, that we're responsive, okay? But also, people are going to be reading your reviews. If you look at a dispensary near me, they're going to be looking at reviews to figure out, is your shop worth visiting? And so if they can see you responding to reviews, showing appreciation for great reviews, and then also for negative reviews, showing that you care and trying to fix the problem, they're going to want to visit you a lot more than if they see a lot of reviews that are being ignored, especially bad reviews. So go through every single review and respond to them. Okay, if it's a bad review, offer to make it right, offer to help, offer some understanding, even if the customer's an asshole. Okay, and if it's a good review, show that you appreciate that customer. So yeah, this is kind of two things to highlight there. They're doing really well in their profile. Next thing, I don't really have an example for this, is technical SEO. I will say this, technical SEO is important, but it should not be a major time sink in your SEO strategy. For most of our clients, we do the audit, the technical SEO audit in week 1, and it's completed by week 2 at the latest of our campaign if they pay our invoice, right? So the main thing here is to prevent, don't have a bunch of issues that are easy to fix and that could be holding you back. The good thing is that once you fix those issues, you don't need to invest a lot of effort on an ongoing basis into this bucket of SEO. But a few things that matter here are your site speed, which is pretty obvious. Fast websites, people are going to stay on that website for longer. Google can see that, and they're going to rank you higher as a result. So you can use Google's Page Speed Insights tool. You just drop your URL in there, and it'll give you a report on how fast your site is loading and also what issues to fix. And you might need to hire a developer to fix some of those issues, but it's very important and definitely worth it if your site takes more than 3.5 seconds to load. Also, you want to audit things related to your actual website pages. So you want to make sure that you don't have a lot of old and bad content in your index. A big offender here is a bit of explanation here, right? In order to rank a page, Google has to first index it. And so every site, every website, including your dispensary site, has a certain amount of crawl budget, or the amount of pages that can be crawled by Google before they can index you. And so you want to avoid having a lot of bad pages that are being crawled, because that prevents better pages from being crawled more often. And the more a page is crawled, then the higher it's going to rank, right? So Google crawls and then they index, and then you can get ranked after they index you, okay? And so you want to avoid having a lot of old and bad content on your site. A big offender here is dispensary blogs. A lot of dispensaries will have like 24 blog posts they had somebody write 5 years ago that are now outdated. None of them are ranking or driving any traffic. And so you want to clean that kind of thing up and make sure you don't have a bunch of pages that are eating up crawl budget that could be used on your higher value pages. Also, schema markup is basically a code you can add. There's tutorials online. You can also ask me down below, and I can help you more with that. But it's basically code that helps Google to better understand your site and your business. And it's just a big thing to do, because it won't directly help you rank better if they already understand your business. But in many cases, sites don't do a good job of fully explaining, where they serve and what they offer and when they open, all those things. And so providing information in the structured code just provides another layer for Google to understand, who you are, what you do, where you're located, and that way they can rank you better and match you better to people who are looking for a business like yours. Okay, the next big thing is menu optimization and setup. Now, look, dispensary menus can be kind of complex. There's different setups that you see that I see a lot. Okay, and every setup needs different actions to make it better. But here's the bottom line: you want to have a menu that is indexable by Google. And then also you want to improve the content on that menu to make it as helpful as possible. And doing these things helps you to rank higher in Google for product-related search terms. It also is very important for local SEO because it shows Google that you carry certain products. So now if someone's looking up a certain product like, Blue Dream Flower or Khalifa Kush pre-rolls near me, okay, they're going to recommend you higher in the local pack feature and everywhere else because they know that, okay, Dispensary A carries that product, right? So not everyone's going to look up dispensary near me or weed near me. A lot of people are going to, they already know what they want. They're going to type that product into Google and say that product near me. And so if you have a well-optimized menu page for that product or that product category, you're more likely to get recommended and get that, get ranked and also get that customer to come into your store and buy from you. So again, a lot to cover here, but basically the holy grail of menus is to have a fully native menu, meaning controlled by your website, with good content on the product category pages, and then also custom content on all the product pages. And so here's an example of a dispensary from Chicago. They're called Bud and Rita's. They're doing a really good job here. And so a couple of things I want to call out here. The first thing is that we can see the URL clearly says flower in it. So a lot of dispensary menus, they're on like a weird subdomain, and the actual URL here will be a bunch of gibberish. That makes it very difficult for Google to actually understand what the page is about, and therefore to rank you for that keyword, and even to just to crawl the page in general, so they know that you sell the product, right? So this is, already having the actual keyword in the URL is a win. Also, Bud and Rita's has a variety of locations, okay? And as you can see, even if I switch locations, I'll do Avondale, right? The URL is the same. That's another thing that we see a lot, is that we see dispensaries where every location has its own set of menu pages. And the issue is that you're going to have a lot of duplication, because Google's going to say, hold on, why do you have 5 flower pages or 5 pre-roll product category pages, right? It's a big mess, okay? And so having a native menu that dynamically populates content on it according to the location, but keeps the URL the same, is a major SEO win, because now Google has just one source of truth when it comes to figuring out, okay, you carry this category and you carry these products, and then it dynamically populates based on where the actual buyer is, and that way the content on them is useful to that people in that area of where you're serving. Okay. Also, another thing I want to call out here is that Bud and Rita's has content added down below, right? So a lot of pages that are auto-generated by menu platforms have no content on them except for the actual products themselves. It's bad because you're missing an opportunity to give Google context about what it is you're selling, unique benefits of the product category and of your brand. And so Bud and Rita's down here, they have content about flower, they have content about different FAQs people have, right, and answers there. And so if you want to add this custom content to each of your product category pages. And that way Google has more context about what it is you're selling, and that way they can better match you to people who are looking up that product. And also that way your users have information about what you're selling. And obviously that will help you get a conversion out of those people who are visiting your site. All right, so moving right along, the next thing you want to do is focus on creating local content. So there are many types of pages you can create here that are important for SEO. I'm going to cover the most important one here, which is your location detail pages, or LDPs. And what your LDPs are pages that are basically ultimate guides for each of your stores. So you'll want to have one LDP per store, per physical address that you have, right? And on these pages, you want to provide store details, so name, address, phone number, hours, payment information, parking, etc. You want to have reviews. You want to have information about the product categories you sell that you offer at that store. You want to have a map embed. You want to have written driving directions from 3 key areas. You also want to have information about attractions in the area, and that way Google can kind of anchor you to a certain geographic location. And there's more things to do here as well, but I'll cover just this one type of page because this is the most important one. You can also build more pages though for different service areas, so cities where you serve that city, but you don't actually have a store in that city. And so those can be good too. But the most important thing here is that you build LDPs. And here's a good example here from Ethos Cannabis in Pennsylvania and Maryland, and I think other cities as well. And you can see here, right, that they have their store name here. They have store hours. They have contact information. They have buttons to shop online. Actually, this is actually for a medical dispensary, right? They have reviews here. They have information about how to shop, information about ID and payment, okay? And they also have a map embed right here of their address. And they also provided directions right here. So they have a few key cities or attractions or destinations in nearby Allentown. And they have written directions here, which is helpful for people. It also shows Google that, we're helping people, excuse me, helping people find their way to our store, and that we are near these areas. They also have attractions down here, so they have links out to different attractions in the Allentown area. And then lastly, they have some content sort of covering, key products they offer. Key products they offer, like flower, vapes, concentrates, etc., and information about, kind of providing geographical information about where they are, what they're near, how to get there, etc. So this is a good example of a very thorough, but also not overstuffed location page. A lot of dispensaries are going to put, they put 1,000 words or more of just straight content on these pages. And the reality is that you don't need all that. All you need to do is have basic information about, again, who you are, what you do, and where you're located. We are a dispensary in this city. We offer these products. Here's how you can pay, ID. Here's our reviews. It's kind of what you want to do, is keep it simple. Okay, moving along, you also want to build local shopping pages. So the idea here again is that you're giving more pages that help Google understand brands you carry, strains you carry as well. And so this is important for obviously Google understanding that you carry those brands and the strains, but also you can rank in Google for those different keywords. So if someone looks up, Steezy pre-rolls near me, or, OG Kush strain near me, right? And you have a page for that strain and that brand, then Google will never recommend you in the local pack, because they know that, okay, this dispensary carries this strain or this brand. But also you can rank down below in the results, and so you'll have a second touch point with the customer for these different keywords. And so this is very, very powerful, because again, most people are not going to search dispensary near me. They're going to look up a product. They're going to look up a strain. They're going to look up a brand. And so optimizing your menu and also building these local shopping pages is super important. And here's an example of a good one, which is Hyperwolf. They're actually a weed delivery brand out in California, but the same thing applies to dispensaries. And here's a page they have with all their brands on them, or all their brands on the page, okay? But also you can see here, we can click into these different brands, and we're taken to a dedicated page for each. So we'll just choose Bear Labs, right? And on this page, we have information about Bear Labs. We also have all the products that Hyperwolf carries from Bear Labs. Okay, and then also information about, company benefits. So what benefits do they offer their customers? More information about Bear Labs, a bunch of stuff, right? This is a very helpful page. And also, let's see, Riverside. So we could try Bear Labs, Riverside, California. Or hold on, Bear Labs. Right, so we can see right here, if we were to try looking at that keyword, we can see here that Hyperwolf is ranking after just Bear Labs themselves, maybe a couple of other dispensaries that have that brand in them. But again, if someone's looking at that keyword, they want that brand near them, if you have a page for that brand, they might shop with you instead of somebody else. We can see here, Hyperwolf says 60-minute delivery. And so if I want delivery, I don't want to go to a store. I want it delivered. Then now I'll choose Hyperwolf and buy a product from them. Okay, the next thing that you want to do is write topical content, or in other words, informational/educational blog posts. And this is important, not really just to drive sales directly, right? So, a blog post about how to smoke a pre-roll is not going to attract a lot of people who are looking to buy pre-rolls in the moment. What these posts will do, though, is they will build up your dispensary as a topical authority, or as an authority on various topics, right? So if I have like 10 blog posts that are really helpful about pre-rolls, now Google's going to see me as an authority on pre-rolls. And so any page on my site related to pre-rolls is going to rank better, including my menu pages, right? And my product page, all those pages, okay? And obviously that's going to help us make more money. And so that's the entire idea here, is build authority on a topic, and then everything, including your money-making pages on that topic will rank better. And overall, you'll make more money. Here's an example from GraniteLeaf Cannabis of a helpful article they have on cannabis oil. And this is a good example because it's not bloated. Again, a lot of brands will write like a 2,000 word, 3,000 word article. You want to avoid writing more than you need to because your blog post won't rank as well. You want to write a blog post that's helpful, that has firsthand experience in it, and that writes include just enough content to answer the question without going overboard. Right here, this is a pretty helpful post, step by step, dosing guide, some notes. That's it, right? And this post ranks pretty well for various cannabis oil keywords. I won't show you here, but if you were to look up, some of those keywords, you'll see that this post ranking pretty well. Okay, next thing you want to do is work on authority building. Actually, this is one of the biggest things you can do. So in SEO, off-site matters more than on-site in many cases, and here's why. Google's not as smart as you think. All right, they can't tell whether a piece of content, whether a brand is objectively good. And so, in the absence of objective evidence of objectivity in general, what do? They look at the consensus. What do other sites say about this dispensary? It's the same as real life, right? If we don't know which product is the best, we go for the one with the most reviews. Well, if Google doesn't know what site is the best to rank, they go with the one that has the most votes of confidence from other websites. And so that's why authority building is so powerful. And in this bucket, there's a few key activities. The first thing is backlinks. A backlink is basically a link from another website to your site. And then also we have citations. So I discussed this before in the beginning of the video. But after that initial build out, you're going to want to build more citations every 3 months. And that way, again, you're giving Google more references for your business, basically online. Also, Reddit marketing is really powerful here. So you can find Reddit threads that are relevant to your area. So people are going to post questions about, where to buy this product near me or what dispensary is best in the city. And so find the ones that are relevant to your area and go in there and comment and recommend your dispensary. Okay, those are valuable brand mentions. Also, press releases can help here too. Again, you're just giving Google more third-party endorsements of your site by paying for press releases with kind of newsworthy content on platforms like PRWeb. And I have a sort of a budget breakdown for how to do this. I also have a video going more in depth on link building and authority building, which I'll link down below. And so if you want to learn more about, these different authority building activities and how to do them and sort of how to think about them, watch that video. It goes a lot more in depth. But here's an example from the higher path. So actually, this is going to be a report from an SEO tool called Ahrefs that shows their backlinks. And that way I can kind of call out a few good links. So we can see here that they have quite a few links from cannabis-related websites linking to their helpful blog content, right? So here's one example, right? From the Herbal Dispatch, which looks like they're a dispensary, okay? And they link to a blog post from the Higher Path dispensary about cannabis terpenes. And so that's what you want to do really with link building is you want to build up as many links as possible from relevant websites. So from cannabis related websites. Also, we see a link here from LA Times. High authority news websites, especially sites that are in areas that are close to you, are also very valuable here. That's the idea is you want to acquire backlinks from relevant and also high authority websites. And that's how Google knows, okay, Higher Path is a very reputable and trusted entity, okay? And they are trusted in the domain of cannabis, right? That's the idea here is that whenever you get a relevant backlink, Google will begin trusting you for, as an authority in cannabis. And so if you have content on your site related to cannabis, they're going to rank that content better. And obviously, as we discussed, it's going to help you rank higher in local pack and be more visible and make a lot more money. Okay, that's kind of everything I have. So I hope this video has been helpful. Again, a lot to cover here. This is literally our entire playbook, minus a few things that are sort of not as important, but that's all the big stuff. I couldn't go in depth into every single thing, but I hope that I kind of showed you the key buckets to focus on for SEO. And also, I will include this document down below, and now we have a sort of like a checklist resource for doing SEO and kind of building your strategy out and executing it. Before I go, I want to share a few notes for success. Okay, so I work with a lot of dispensaries and other cannabis and hemp retailers, and so I see a lot of good things, I see a lot of bad things. Here are a few notes on how to actually win with SEO. First thing is stay consistent. Okay, SEO is a long game; it requires a lot of work. So don't just work on your SEO when you feel like it. Okay, and I'm especially talking about getting reviews and adding images to your profiles and responding to reviews, the kind of the maintenance that you and your employees might be doing, right? Don't just do it when you feel like it. You got to do it week in, week out, day in, day out. SEO is sort of a war of attrition, especially if you're in a big city, a very competitive market. So stay consistent. Next thing is persevere. Okay, SEO can start working in a few months if you're doing it right. Okay, it should start showing some results in the first few months, but it takes around 6 months or more to see really big results from SEO, business-changing results, lots of new customers, right? And so don't quit after 1 month and say it didn't work, okay? You need to work at it for at least 6 months. So be ready to dedicate time or money to it and stick with it, persevere with it, don't give up. Next thing is invest. Okay, if you're going to have an SEO agency do it for you, you need to be prepared to invest some serious cash, right? Think about it, right? This is a channel that can change your entire business. Okay, so if someone were to tell you that, okay, I can make you all this money, all you got to do is pay me $500 a month or $1,000 a month, that would kind of seem too good to be true, wouldn't it? So I'd recommend investing at least $2,000 a month minimum, right? If you're in a big market like Chicago, LA, Boston, that kind of thing, probably more than that, okay, to see good results. And yeah, like I said, anything less than that, and you have to question whether you're really getting enough work from your agency to cultivate for your business what can often be the most meaningful marketing channel, okay? So invest big, get big wins. Last thing is hire an agency. SEO is a lot of work. There's a lot of moving parts. We have teams that are built just to do SEO for dispensaries. And so you're better off hiring an agency that's good. But again, that's the key thing is they have to be good at SEO. And so you want to find an agency with case studies showing actual growth, revenue growth for businesses just like yours. Okay. So don't hire an agency that makes you big promises. Make sure they actually can back it up with case studies and evidence that they know what they're doing. All right. That's everything I have. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you own or operate a dispensary and you're looking for an SEO agency that will actually grow your revenue and not make a bunch of excuses, my team at Aperture is here to help. We specialize in growing revenue for cannabis and hemp retailers by using SEO to build visibility with your customers at every stage of their buying journey. We're the no bullshit partner that serious operators turn to when visibility revenue are no longer optional. If this is you, book a call directly with me at the link in the description below. And no matter who you are, I hope you found this video useful. Now stop watching and go sell more cannabis. Thanks. Bye.